In Module 2, we're looking at estimating and problem solving. Let's start by first looking at estimation. Now, students will sometimes confuse rounding versus estimating. So let's look at the difference between these two. Let's start first with rounding. Rounding is something that tends to happen at the end of a question, at the end of a process. So let's say we have these two numbers here, 185 and 203, and we want to round them to the nearest tens. Well, looking at the number after the 8, the 5, since it is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, it's a larger digit, we would round up. And our answer would be 190. And we're done. That's the end of the process. That's an example of rounding. Let's try another one. Let's say we want to round 203 to the nearest tens. Well, the 3 is smaller than 5. It's a smaller digit. And so when we round this, we end up with the result of 200. It's the end of the process. So that's what rounding looks like. Estimating is a tad bit different. Estimating, we might round, but we would probably round at the beginning of the question, the beginning of the process. But the purpose for doing that is to make the computations easier. Let's say we want to estimate 3.7 plus 76 plus 821.7. We could do this with a calculator. It wouldn't be too difficult to do by hand, but with estimating, we're going to make the numbers simpler, so maybe we could even do the calculations in our head. So if we were to round 3.7, that's close to 5. If we were to round 76, round 76, that's close to 80. And if we were to round 821, that's close to 820. So we would round these numbers at the beginning of the process to now make the computations easier, possibly without a calculator. 820 and 80, that's 900. And when you add in 5, that's 905. So that's an example of estimating. So if you have questions on the difference of, hey, what does it mean to round? What does it mean to estimate? We're going to want to ask those on the discussion board. Also in this section, we'll be seeing word problems. We'll be asked to do some problem solving. Students often say, I'm not very good with that. Well, here's some things to remember as you work through these type of questions. First, look for the key information. Write it down. Take notes. What do you know about that information? If they give you a rectangle, do you know its perimeter? Do you know its area? It might be helpful to draw a picture. If you're a visual learner, having a picture might help you better understand what they're asking you to do. Maybe you need a formula for that key information to put it together to see what they're asking for. And oftentimes, it's very helpful to reread the last sentence. The last sentence often in a word problem will tell you what you're looking for, where you're trying to go. So if we can connect the key information in part 1 with your thinking in parts 2 and 3, that formula and picture, and then refresh your memory by rereading the last sentence, I think you'll find word problems or problem solving more successful. All right, we'll look for any further questions you might have on the discussion board.